getting almost double-digit elims in 2 of those games. It's enough of a consistent performance to keep them up here. Meanwhile, to harp on something that Levin actually said for Lecce, Wolfies, and Savin. Yes, they might not be in that top 10, but they kind of went over a huge hurdle of being behind by 20 points in that last game. Now they're close to tied with everyone around them. This will be a very important game for them. And you were talking about Scout, Sancho. Acme and Zestin are now here somewhere near Weeping, getting into a huge fight with SanchoWest.
We're just seeing the butterfly effects of one team changing their drop spot, affecting another. And it looks like Earths gets knocked by Savage. So that lava pushes them closer and closer, pushes them in the hands of Savage, Lecce, and Wolfies. But now we're seeing all the shots ring out because the sound of Storm Surge is true. So far, 14 players have to go down. So that's why the aggression holds out. So everyone who's being chill, moving inches, is now moving feet in, or I would say meters forward. And those huge steps are going to cause a lot of shock waves throughout the time. Now you're seeing Anas here taking some huge damage, and down goes Flick as well. As in fact, Keandro and Jeff were able to knock 2 down, but Wolfies and Lecce is still up. Thomas HC is now by himself, and Kiko, Mashi, and Slender are sitting in the mid-ground of this little skirmish for the brief moment here. But those rings of shots of so much people went down. It was 10 plus needed to go down, and now 4 only have to go down. And I just want to know what's going through the heads of all these players seeing this man-made mountain on the right side that was created, and who's going to take advantage of that high ground. Well, now we're seeing a nice dead side rotation here from Kiko's, Mashi, and Slender. Very textbook, and actually taking out Lecce.
Was that a full as well? That was a full elim, looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. Wolfie, Savin, and Lecce, who were trying to do the same kind of rotation, not white line it. No, actually, Wolfies and Savin is alive.
Okay,
so
okay.
Lecce was left. Lecce was left. It was a straggler. There's always a straggler sometimes in rotations, but now Kiko now is going to be not even left behind. Gets thrown right into the box to get looted. And let's take a look at it. That is not a mountain, folks. That's why it's being so built up. That was actually a build-off that's now into play, as we're seeing the duo of Taste and Savage still up together.
The Savage's trio, 1 top 5s in quals 1 and 2, 3 today. So they're here to play, and they're having fun. Whether it's off spawn, whether it's all the way up in these end games, they're trying to retake height, something you don't usually see up in EU or just in any games in general across the world in so many regions. It's always 7th zone trio solidifying their hold on the server. This time though, SD Vato Airwalks, they're here to play. We just saw Savage's trio up in mid-ground looking at what they want to do. AD and Astro and Hardfine right below Rabbit, Yaxo, and Browner. They're getting ready too for this next zone 2 lock in. Past that though, on low, Blaster, Alpha, Nikov. Getting couches maybe. A new fireplace for the home we're usually watching them in. It's always low ground, and it's always consistent with those guys.
Now we're seeing on the, not exactly the front of the zone, still of a very decent pool that AD and Hardfine Astro have to navigate. They're choosing to go late as much as possible.
And Kiko also got picked up while we switched off his perspective. So that first place team, I was about to say, might be good for ADN overall, but it's going to be the same type of stakes as they drop down into a box and take out Patty and a whole trio in just 2 seconds.
There's basically the brunt strength, the brute strength is just causing so much hits. It does cost them Astro though. So now the duo of ADN and Hardfine, the newfound trio, is now going to have to work as a duo.
Whoa.
Can their chemistry of the duo kind of survive this? And Kiko's still up and still going.
And ADN's going faster than anyone else. Flipping, they're switching and swapping through 7 different layers, moving upwards to make sure he doesn't get caught up in this low ground that is drastically changing inside Slippery Swamp. Moving towards a mountain as well, so High Ground will have a chance to bully out anyone who's trying to go for deep breaths and make sure they can survive. You can see the effect of pressure on the bottom right of your screen. Kiko, Slender already down. These guys barely having any shield to work with. A bouncer, no materials. No, actually, you could not connect all the way up there in the sky. Still has a few materials, Kiko, but everyone now is bouncing. You can see on the left side of your screen. Browner's gonna be one of the last ones to make that switch in rotation. Yaxwell still sticks on the height, but there's so much going down in this end game.
Not only that, Storm Surge tags are coming in through. 4 players have to go down, and you can see the beams coming from the sky, causing so much havoc down below. Wolfies is still alive. Wolfies is still up.
And Tayson just took out Alpha down below. Stasio, though, gets a reply onto him, and Savage's Hardfine finds him with an elimination in the storm.
Hardfine going solo on a decent layer here. No one inside on this layer. He does have some occupants up above. He has to be careful considering now he's out of match completely. Now he's going to be desperate looking for a refresh.
And ADN will have to see what he can do with 3 more elims so far. That's 7, no, 8 for the trio in total. Another solo clutch to play.
Now the clutch is on the line here. 8 elims total for the trio. He does have 3 floppers. He's going to try to eat a little bit, looking for an opportunity. He's going to have to utilize some bouncers. He did see Sorilla here. This could be a huge opportunity to go in and get not only that, an elim, but a massive refresh. But as you see, the storm is going to go back up this mountain, and it could be a matter of moments before ADN goes down. The question is, as Airwax does go down in the feed, so can that trio stay out? ADN does go down. The lack of builds was too much to bear. But looking at the new height contenders, he is EMX, Gray, and Shakos, who now waited patiently and had the perfect precision throughout the entire day, not only in mini engagements, but now they have High Shyo. And now we go down to another solo performance of Nikov, who is doing really well as a trio, considering that they have 9 elims in this match so far.
How will the solo clutch go with no builds and height looking down for big shots? Nikov can't survive and goes down to the zone. MXR with a huge 3-piece on Browner and Alpha as well. Artur taken out and from the shadows.
Hold on, man. Just hold the door. Hold the door. These are some of the biggest names in the EU region, just as equivalent of Savage and Tayson. These are big names that cannot make it in the next stage here, Shyo. This is huge.
She had about 800 builds before. Or 80 builds in total. Now he's down to 34 after that pressure. If that happens again, it's done. They can only survive 1 more full spray down.
No doubt, man. Luckily, as we finally get a look at the zone, it is really close by. But you talk about a small step for them will be a huge leap in terms of survival. If they could just make it in, we're talking about a few meters here in this rotate. But now we're seeing other trios up. Vatos trios is still up. They're on the brink of it. Look at Manu down in the center being focused. That trio needs to survive as well. Or Artur advising Kubix. It's a different kind of story they have to make, as Mateos does pick up an elim in the feed, so that's big right there. And Artur in that trio is looking to make some waves here, and they could be the ultimate Green Reaper that take out Lechi and Wolfies.
Absolutely, with 72 points, they're right beside the same threshold of being close to top 10. They can not only push down Lechi and Wolfies, but stop Manu from qualifying. Stop Vato and Airwalks from having a chance at semifinals. And Wolfies and Lechi have made it through, but look at the color and the type of builds around them. Blue mixed with brown, metal and wood together. They're transitioning between builds that are phasing away, running out. And it looks like they're now on a timer. They need something, anything to keep them in this game.
No matter what language we use speak, you know they're in a rough spot right now. They're going to go for the highlight play. Out goes the gas can. If they can get a couple of tags, maybe they have an opportunity to retreat back into their safe haven. Down to 1 above, now below the damage threshold. And here they come as Wolfies gets eliminated. He gets taken out. Can Lechi hold on? No! He is eliminated and sent out of this game. And that is the end of the ride for Savage, Wolfies, and Lechi, who were holding on as much as possible, just could not withstand to the lobby pressure of match 6.
They tried to cheer it on. It was possible, and really good play from Savage, Wolfies, and Lechi all day. But now there's still a chance for many other trios to take that top 10 spot. Storm Surge still raining down onto Artur, Vice, and Kubix. Vice going down, not dealing enough damage. I understand why they were trying to pressure Wolfies that whole time. Zara knows this. Will they drop down for this one is the real question.
And also the question is, where is Manu's trio? Are they still on their feet? Right, where is Shaco's trios? Okay, they're right there. Where are they still on their feet? So many other ones scout as well, and it's alongside all the way down. Ooh. Woo. So many opportunities here. So tough here now as Artur, who was the last remaining people who survived the Storm Surge as well, is still on that brink of getting into the top 10. Not necessarily needing it, considering that they will qualify through series points, but still, this could push out one of those trios that we're looking for in the elim feed as much as possible. So every placement point, every elim matters. Do not turn away from whatever screen you're watching. We're getting into the end game here of match 6 and the last week of qualifiers.
Artur has to run this as a solo. Dan goes down to Blackie. Another player that needed to survive and make sure he thrives. and hit the top 10 this week. One of those 6. He goes down. I'm not sure if his teammates are still alive. First place also up for grabs overall. ADN, Hardfight, and Astro are the leaders currently. And they look to try to keep that lead, but there's so many people who are throwing everything, any chance they have to stay in the competition.
Xenorilla is gonna have to find the King Kong inside of him to be able to kind of climb the top of the leaderboard. Has the biggest ask to be able to get up there. 50 points and 153 below Storm Surge. No elims so far in this match. Has been taking a passive route. Now sitting in the cone, waiting to strike, understanding that someone may build over them. So now Xeno is gonna have to do this by himself. Now he moves out of this cone. Now it's in full effect. Getting a nice 80 tag. Can Xeno stay up? He does get a knock right there. A huge elim right there to keep the chances alive for his trio. But can he win? He does pick up Wave Zico in the feed. Now I'm taking a look at anybody else, and look at it. He does have some builds, he does have some opportunities, but he's really low on everything else except AR ammo.
Has the builds to be able to make it through. He just has a very standard loadout and no chance as their trio gets stopped in their tracks as well. SD is one person who's still alive, who's picked up a few eliminations. Mosh will be the one to stop the dream for Xenorilla. Manu goes down to Exterios as well. So all these trios who need the qual are dropping one by one like flies. They can't do anything to stick around at all. Nikov at low ground makes sure to make some space with Alpha to control that narrative down below. Storm Surge is still striking now, I think, for Mateos' team. Code goes down as well. So it's all up to Mateos as a solo to try to clutch the top 10 qual. Past that, Yox, Browner, and Rabbit have height. No RPG this time, though, it looks like. They'll have to use pressure and cunning mechanics to win the game.
I'm doing my best to find one of our last remaining 6, and that has to be Airwalk's trio. I did see him. Yes, they're right there in the front. They're right there in the front. They're alive, and they're looking really good, about 150 HP. They have to survive the pressure from Mono, and looks like Mateos has been confirmed and out by Thomas HD. So that ride is over. And Nos is down, and so is Thomas. And now the Storm is pushing back forward. This is going to be a nice signature win from Browner. But the story right now to see if who is going to make it into the top 10, as a lot of elims are happening, as all the trios are working through old builds, and no doubt shooting their way through a lot of hard matches. Diablo is getting so many elims there on the mid ground. Look at that elim feed light up as Arwar is getting another knock as well. But where is there? Well, I was about to say, I almost thought it was Vitality's Airwax there that picked up a knock, but it's actually Nikov, and Arwar is actually getting so many elims there in the mid ground.
Legend's trying to. He gets knocked down in the process. Diablo finally gets stopped by Nikov. That low ground trio still holds true. Somewhere close to high ground, though, on second height is Vato, is SD, and Airwalks. These guys have avoided all the pressure down on low ground and are somehow surviving, riding to a free top 10 finish so far by this perfect positioning. I said the passivity might not pay off, that being over aggressive might be too, it should be the play, and playing passive is too risky, but they've proven everyone wrong so far. Flick has finally gone down. Karma's popping off too, but how are SD and Airwalks doing currently? Patty getting some elims as well. They're now getting closer. Rabbit might actually drop down into their box. I'm not sure if they have enough points to stay top 10 either.
If they get into the top 3, yes, Vato with that elim gets into the top 3 and gets some very valuable placement points right then and there. That's going to put them in another elim from Airwalks and another knock from Etsy. The team that is kind of do all that they can to survive is doing it on the low ground, and it is a battle between the top and the low at the moment. Can Airwax's trio get in with a huge statement? We mentioned about this entire time. It was the last game performance to get in. Week 1, week 2, it is game 6 where you punch your ticket in, and that's what Etsy, Vato, and Airwax are doing. It's a 3v2 situation. Now the pressure is down. Now it's a 2v2 situation. Let's see. A victory royale is still huge, and now it's up to Vato.
Solo player saving clutch out against the heal game is the question. Needs to siphon up the Rapid. Is it possible? Rabbit almost going down. He does, but the siphon is not there for Vato. Still, with that performance and 103 points.
All around great stuff.
Yeah, they've really been on top right now. And, Blaster, Nikov, and Alpha is a team that stuck together all of last season too. In season 4, they ended up placing 18th in that FNCS. They've stuck together, they've practiced.
Yeah, as you can see here on that next page, we've highlighted them a couple of times. They even picked up a victory out. Shaco, Screenio, and EMX6R.
Unfortunately not making that top 10. It's a real shame. We saw them get real focused towards that end game,
for the likes of Savid, Lecce, and Wolfies, right? These guys, all of them having fought through so much adversity in recent months, right? Even over the course of the past year, right?